Hey, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. So, if you are here live with me, give me a hashtag live. If you're catching this on replay, hashtag replay. And if you get some value out of this along the way, hashtag value would be wonderful. So I know what to cover as we go on this journey together, looking to get as much money for retirement so we don't have to go back to work and we can enjoy our golden years. So, everyone loved some of the stuff that I talked about with planning for your next job using AI and using it in your resume and for your cover letters. Tonight, I thought I'd touch on retirement planning for government employees using AI. So, the one thing about AI that you have to remember is using the right prompts. You need to instruct it like it is a 3-year old. So it is so important to structure your problem. And maybe because I was a math major in college, this kind of stuff comes easy to me because I'm so used to structuring problems. But all you data scientists out there, I think this will be right up your alley too. So, what I did was I asked it using historical figures, current salary, current TSP balance, your projected years to retirement, desired TSP balance, percentage of salary I should be saving, what fund mix should I use? And I also asked it to figure out average raise over the next 20 years because that is what I projected for the retirement. So, again, this is what I put in here historical data because if you just say, how much money do I need to retire? It's not going to give you a great answer. The answers come back. The better the question, the better the answer. The more that you give it to structure your answer back, the better. So, and so, what did it say to get to 1 million? So, it told me that the historical stock market performance for the last 40 years was between 7 and 9%. And federal salaries increase about 2.5% on average. And it said in 20 years, this should be my future salary if I was at 70,000 right now. And I know for federal employees, that's probably lowballing it a little, especially if you wind up getting a promotion. It really, and step increases, it's really going to push that number up higher. But I like to be conservative with my numbers. So, and because you're at age 40, your current TSP balance should be um, between 2 and 3 times your current salary. What I did was 2.5 times 70 to get what the projected for my imaginary person that's retiring in 20 years, what their TSP balance should be. Now, it could, with you guys, you'll use what you actually have. And I wanted the balance when I retired to be $1 million because you're still going to have your social security. You're still going to have your pension and you'll have what's in TSP. So, well, we hope we're going to have social security. Anyway, then I asked it about funds. What should I put in there? And they suggested a mix of C, S, and I, because that averaged closer to 8%. So, and I mean, when you're in other TSP groups and talking to people who are actual market experts and not just someone who can write a prompt in chat GPT, you're going to get a lot of mixed results. But according to chat GPT, this is what their suggestion was. So to get to this number, they were suggesting an annual contribution of a little bit over $4,000. So that I thought was pretty low, but okay, they're taking in the growth of what you already have in there and then what you're putting in. And when I did the math, it looked like it was taking in future salary at some point, but it gave me a very complicated math problem. And even though I was a math major, I'm like, ooh, it's been like 30 years since I've tackled a problem like that. But I'm like, okay, solve for P. And it did some more math and it solved for P. So, but we're going to take a look at what 5% matching is on 70,000 because you want to put in as much as the government's going to match you because free money is free money. And if you put in 5%, they will match that. Anything else you put in, while you can put in more money, they're not going to match more than 5% of your salary. So that doesn't, their 5% is actually pretty generous. So if you put in 5%, they put in 5%, you've got 7K going in, which is actually more than what ChatGPT suggested. So it looks like if historically things repeat itself like they have over the last 40 years, looks like you'll be in pretty good shape. But now let's talk about the delta. If you're only putting in 7K and your annual limit is 22.5K, how are you using the rest of that money? And are you worried about the fact that your tax deduction is going to be a little bit lower because you're not stocking it all away into your TSP? So, I have a few solutions for that. So, assuming that you get some raises and you get a promotion and you also get your step increases, you'll be at 5%, you'll be contributing a lot more than $4,000 or $7,000 a year. So, with that other money, what else can you do to prepare for retirement? Well, something that I ask all my clients is, would your retirement be easier if your mortgage was paid off? There are ways that you can use life insurance to do a couple of things: to pay your mortgage off, to capture that money more than once. So while it's going to pay off your debts, that money is still in your bank account making interest. Well, not as much as if all that money was still in your policy, but it's probably making between a half and a quarter%, which is a lot more than if you had just spent that money. So, over the years, you pay your home off sooner by overfunding that policy, and then you start paying yourself back. And what happens? You've used that money to off your home. You use that money to collect interest that would have gone to the bank instead of your pocket. And now we're coming to phase three, where you use that money in retirement and it's tax free because it's a policy loan. and you draw that money down like you would an annuity over your later years in life. So then, what about this higher tax bracket that I'm going to be in retirement? Because we all know taxes are only going up, they're not coming down. What can you do to protect yourself? Well, having more money that is in a tax free status during retirement will definitely help. But what about now that you can't write off that full $22,000 because you haven't put it into a tax deferred account? Well, one of the things that I've done over the years was I got a 1099 position where I could write some stuff off. So you're like, oh, Heather, I have kids. I have other obligations. I couldn't possibly do this. Well, I took hobbies and then figured out a way to get paid for them so I could write that off. One of the first things I did was I became a TJ, which is a trivia jockey. So I was able to write off mileage on my car, a portion of my mortgage, and because I was storing the equipment in my house. Gas, I was able to write off. So normally I'd go out and play trivia with my friends, and none of that would be a write off. Now I'm the host. I get to put control the music. It's a tax write off. The gas I use to get there, my internet at home, part of my mortgage for storing the stuff, and a couple of other things that I brought along the way that really was a significant, for not a lot of time, for going out twice a week that I normally would have done. Oh, the meal that I had at the bar when right before I started, because most of the time it was right in the middle of when I normally would eat dinner. Now, some of the tax write offs for meals have changed, and I am not a CPA. I'm telling you from personal experience what's happened over my life. So, if you're looking at starting a small business, to get more tax write offs in your life, I would definitely consult a tax professional. But one of the easiest and not a big pain to do is something in direct marketing that you love, whether it's wine or oils or my brother actually sells designs for his glow forge. So he's able to write off his glow forge, write off the room that he's got the glow forge in, write off the materials he uses to make his initial designs because they are all preliminary designs for things he is going to sell or try and decide to sell, because he's selling the designs, not the products. So he doesn't have to have a ton of stuff in his house, and it's all online. So just think about your hobbies and think about things that you enjoy doing. Figure out how you can take the time you're already using and turn it into some kind of 1099 position. That way, you have another write off. Another interesting thing I saw an article about that, again, I am not a tax professional, but if you have a home based cottage business, is paying your children to help you and then taking that money, turning it around, putting it into a college savings plan for them. So you're able to write off the salaries that you pay them and then take that money, turn it around, and put it into a college savings plan for them. So, again, if you're looking for different write offs, Put it into ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has basically gone to law school and has learned all of our laws and a lot of other things. So, but again, don't say Heather sent you, go to a tax professional. But those are some stories of how I found other tax write offs in my life. So, and that's what I was talking about, using an overfunded whole life policy to pay off debt before retirement. And again, the nice part about it is a Roth IRA, you're still paying taxes on that money before it goes into the Roth. You're still paying taxes on that money before it goes into a an insurance policy. On both of them, you get your money out tax free at the end. But the nice part is the insurance policy is not subject to market loss. There's two possibilities. Your money either stays the same or it goes up, depending on the policy we look at. So it is not the worst retirement plan ever if you're not having to chase market losses. And you have another plan to capture some tax write offs. So, are you ready for retirement? Do you love my creative ideas? And would you like access to your money before you're 59 and a half? And that's what these insurance policies can do for you. So you can leave your TSP money alone when you retire at your minimum retirement age and start dipping into this other money that you have saved to be able to comfortably retire when you hit your minimum retirement age, instead of worrying um, about, can you make ends meet? Will you have to go and work at Walmart as a greeter? But we're all keeping our 1099 for the tax write off that is our hobby job, right? Okay. Well, that's it for this week. And drop some comments underneath this video so I know if you got some value out of it. Uh, Definitely drop into my DMs or book on my calendar if you'd like to talk about some of these ideas one on one. And I will see you next week. Aloha, my federal friends. Oh, and invite a friend to this Facebook group that you think might enjoy some of the things I've put out over the last 8 months. It's been 8 months, people. I started this back in January. So, yeah, got over that 7 month itch. And hopefully, we'll see a little bit more consistency with these lives and get these invites out sooner than later. All right. Again, aloha and enjoy your hump day.